I think that impressed Irwin was the filmmaking, the directing.
That opening shot of the movie is really amazing.
Right. His shot making was just so beautiful. It was a great thing to watch because I was there the night that they shot it, and you know, to see the crew actually, it was like a dance. Whatever else the movie was going to be, it was going to have the Steadicam, and it was going to be used in this one way.
You can tell that this is a filmmaker that's just having fun with the medium and is not having a lot of studio pressure or, you know, external forces telling him what to do. And you can always smell a film like that.
I was actually called to an audition, and it was the first time that I ever had an audition where after I read, the director said, "You got the part." And I just sat there like, what? You're telling me? I don't have to wait 2 weeks?
This is not supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
And it was very exciting, and then he asked me to stay and read for potential boyfriends. So that was kind of cool.
But that's the way he really was about everything, or is, you know. But certainly at that time, you know, he just had this confidence about what he wanted, and when he saw it, that was it.
Right.
You know, it's just, it used to drive me crazy that it was one take, that's it, that's what you want. Oh, sweet, you know.
Are you sure?
Donald Pleasance, who as a man was such a wonderful guy, and to work with was, you know, the epitome of a professional. So you had all these teenagers running around the house with a knife, and then, you know, Donald was the sophisticated English actor.
Oh, it was a joy to work with him. He gave us so much. He'd look you in the eyes and, yes, you know, yes.
The story was, you know, 3 babysitters in the suburbs on Halloween night.
John and Deborah working together was really a special combo because John really brought these traditional horror elements like Dr. Loomis and the all-persistent evil.
Deborah was able to bring the female perspective to a script and put a lot of dialogue in from a teenage girl point of view, which a lot of men wouldn't be able to have written. So it was I thought their partnership was extremely exciting.
Whenever I think of the first film musically, I think of that piano on the very high end, aside from the theme, that ding, ding.
He created that all himself.
Right.
So he's the author of dun 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 dun.
Like having Jaws without the dun dun dun
right,
dun dun.
You know, he really hit the mark with the minimalist issue. You know, rather than going over the top, making it big, he made it little.
I think it opened, what, in October?
Obviously October.
Yeah, sure.
In Kansas City. I was anticipating it not taking off. Even though I had a lot of respect for the movie. I thought it was a really good movie. It was slow to get started.
Absolutely.
I do remember that. I do remember there was a review in Time magazine, and I thought, Time magazine is reviewing this movie? This is amazing. And you know, something is really going on. And they really weren't reviewing the movie so much as they were reviewing the phenomenon of the movie. Right. The fact that it was making so much money and there was such a word of mouth about it.
Alan, what do you think makes Michael Myers so scary, aside from the external factors like the music and so forth? What about him?
Well, I think it's brilliant to have an evil character that we don't know really who it is. All we know is the mask.
Because he's so simple, he's so basic. He's a white face in a jumpsuit. There's so little to him. He never speaks. We never really see his face, and that in itself is terrifying. But I think by him being so blank, people can project their own fears and their thoughts of what he's about onto him. He's basically a blank canvas.
He seems like a man without emotion, so any time you have a human being that can take a life, whether it's an animal or a person, and there doesn't seem to be any empathy or sympathy or feeling of what did I do, or oh my gosh, I did something wrong, that's truly evil.
His character has some sort of identifiable humanness to him.
It's the unseen terror, it's the presence. You know, you don't see him that often. You know, Carpenter was great at having him in the shadows.
I also think there's something really cool about him that made him scary. I mean, you know, he moves very slowly, very deliberately, like he's got it all figured out. They know they're going to get you no matter what, and so when the audience sees them moving so methodically, you know, and then the other thing is you you know, they could be anywhere at any time. That's what John Carpenter's thing is you never know where he was going to appear.
Michael in that mask is one of the coolest images in cinematic history.
I mean, he's just the epitome of legend. He's indestructible. He's so successful because he never dies.
Michael spawned some of these next movies that happened, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, etc.
Yeah, suddenly they were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Throughout the series, we've always fought for less gore is better, although we've lost some of those battles, but we've always tried to be the non-gory slasher film as much as we can be.
It was like when you were a young kid and you had to imagine things, you know. They let the audience imagine things, which is much more frightening, I think.
Kids couldn't wait to bring their friends. They had seen it, and they could sit there and watch the person squirm, knowing what was coming up. Oh, wait till you see this part.
Or don't look now.
Yeah, don't look now.
Being scared is fun. It's like going on a roller coaster ride. So you get to go to the movies, get a roller coaster ride, be thrilled, scared, and eat popcorn.
The fan base for this film has always been incredible, and the fan support has always been incredible.
Yeah, the fans are amazing.
Aren't they great? They know all the lines, they keep coming up.